we just played that clip for you about Nick Fuentes on Owen Schroyer. Well, he's getting a lot of mainstream attention. I mean, a lot. Meaning multiple articles now are being written about him in mainstream news, whether that's CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, what have you. Here we have one. Why Donald Trump should fear Nick Fuentes. Youthful far-right commentator spotlighting Trump's hypocrisy and Vance's betrayal of a movement they no longer represent. And here's the Groyper King. Here we go. Nick Fuentes is only 27, yet his reach already extends further than men twice his age. He is not a sideshow. He is not a fringe curiosity. He is a rising force with the ability to disrupt the Republican Party politics for years to come. For President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance, brushing him aside or looking the other way is not an option. Too many pundits lazily compare Fuentes to a far-right icon Alex Jones, who we just talked about. The truth is there's no real comparison. Jones was, and still is, a carnival act. He hogs snake oil supplements, screams like a lunatic, and cries on air for attention. He is emotionally incontinent and ideologically inconsistent. He craves credibility but has never earned it. His following is loyal but limited, and his clownish antics keep him locked on the margins. Fuentes is cut from a very different right-wing cloth. He's disciplined, while Jones is deranged. He's deliberate, Jones is desperate. He doesn't need to shout to be heard. Although, Nick does shout. He presents controversial ideas in calm, sharp language that resonates with a generation of disillusioned young men. That alone makes him far more dangerous than Jones ever was. At the core of his project sits the so-called Groyper Army. This is not a movement of rallies and door-knocking. It is a digital swarm, organized, relentless, and perfectly adapted to today's online battlefields. They flood comment sections, weaponize memes, and exploit algorithms to magnify their reach. They understand attention better than most seasoned strategists and know how to turn a Twitter spat into national headlines. Their effectiveness has already been proven in 2019 and 2020. Groyper's disrupted Turning Point USA events, ambushing speakers with questions about immigration, foreign wars, and cultural priorities. These weren't random hecklers. These were disciplined agitators who forced mainstream conservative groups to defend ground they weren't prepared to defend. A handful of activists bent the conversation closer to nationalism. That alone should keep Republican strategists up at night. Fuentes has also thrived where others have failed. Banished from major platforms, he rebuilt on Rumble and smaller sites. Now he's back on X, expanding once again. The platforming hasn't weakened Fuentes. If anything, it has hardened him. Each ban becomes proof to his followers that the system fears him. Some readers will object here, stating that he's an anti-Semite with a long record of hateful remarks. That may be true, but it does not diminish his influence. Fuentes speaks broadly to young men who feel cheated, discarded, and despised. These are not traditional Republican loyalists. They see little for themselves in tax cuts or tacky cryptocurrency ventures. Fuentes offers belonging, brotherhood, and a story that frames them not as failures, but as betrayed. That message lands because in many ways it's undeniably true. Trump, once the scourge of elites, now spends more time rubbing shoulders with Wall Street and Silicon Valley than railing against them. The man who promised to drain the swamp dines with donors, while the disaffected wait for a champion. Fuentes cast himself as that champion, the antidote to a party drifting back to where the powerful. This is why his appeal bites so deep and why it is so dangerous for the GOP. Modern elections are decided on the margins. In Wisconsin, Arizona, and other swing states, a few thousand votes can flip the map. Fuentes doesn't need to win. He only needs to slap enthusiasm, smother turnout, or peel away the disillusion. That alone makes him a strategic threat at coming polls. And his career is just beginning. Fuentes has decades to sharpen his message, stretch his reach, and grow his audience. Where older firebirds fade, Fuentes is still climbing. He is articulate, ambitious, and relentless. He shows no sign of slowing down. The Groypers are not amateurs. They know how to bend news cycles, spark outrage, and shame politicians who dare cross them. And they do it with the precision of professionals, not the chaos of hobbyists. For J.D. Vance, the danger is personal. He's widely seen as Trump's heir, the man expected to carry MAGA forward. But Fuentes cast Vance as a fraud, groomed by elites, bankrolled by Peter Thiel, and paraded as a populist while serving as a puppet. It's Fuentes and his followers that makes Vance not the future of the movement, but the betrayal of it. This is a nightmare scenario. The GOP cannot dismiss Fuentes as another online loudmouth. He's not Alex Jones flogging pills and sobbing on cue. He's controlled, careful, and capable of mobilizing disillusioned young men in the ways the party is not prepared to counter. Trump and Vance face an adversary who cannot be ignored, outspent, or deplatformed into irrelevance. The Fuentes factor is real, and MAGA's champions would be wise to pay attention. That, my friends, is why I love Nick Fuentes. He is now getting mainstream attention for the first time in a long time. First time I heard about Nick Fuentes was when they reported on his Mar-a-Lago dinner with Trump. It was him, Kanye, and Milo Yiannopoulos. It wasn't until after the 2024 election where I really started to pay attention. I started seeing the clips on TikTok, on Instagram, on Twitter. And eventually I watched my first live stream on Rumble with him in March. And I fell in love with the America First movement, the true America First movement. You see, I was hoodwinked into voting for Trump in November. I voted for him in 2020. He lost. I voted for him in 2024. He won. I bought the lie that he was going to really change shit for us and bring back jobs. And we'll do exactly what he campaigned on. Except he didn't. And I fell for it. And so in time, I began to be red-pilled by seeing different things on the internet, and eventually led me to Nick. And you know what, man? This Groyper movement, I'm all in. I don't know if I'm a Groyper, but I'm definitely Groyper adjacent. I believe in all these views, and I think everything should be revisited because these people in both parties, which he outlines, they're not in it to win it for us. They're in it for themselves. And if we continue to vote Republican like he's talking about, we continue to vote for somebody like a J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio in 2028, I just don't think that anything's going to change. And that's the problem. Nothing's going to change. But with this movement, this guy, this unquestioned, battle-tested leader, good luck, man. Good luck being a force against him. Good luck being one of his enemies. Good luck being an enemy of the America First Groyper movement. Because it's strong, it's building, and it will very soon be a force to be reckoned with. So that's the show. It's been a shorter show, I will say that, but running out of time here. I really appreciate you guys for checking out this video. Hopefully you can give me a thumbs up, a thumbs down. Hopefully not. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.